What's up, y'all? Welcome to the live. Chilling, doing my live streaming, chilling, sitting on the couch this time. I don't feel like going in the room. Yeah, hold on 1 second. So, welcome, y'all. Good morning. We're gonna talk about some real stuff. What's up, Peggy? Good morning. We're gonna talk about some real things, and make sure y'all get the likes up on this stream. Welcome, Julian. Welcome everybody. Look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If you go to my previous live streams, obviously you can see that I don't go along with the latest trends. Pin the topic below. So the topic is New Year Fake World. That's the truth. So we got a couple videos that we're gonna go over. You know what I'm saying? My bad, y'all. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Shout out to my moderator, my husband, on his other channel. He went live this morning. Unfortunately, he had to cut the live short because, which is something that I may do as well, if I don't feel like people want to listen. If I even feel like y'all playing too much, I'm gonna turn this live stream off. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I'm so sick and tired of y'all playing, bro. This is not the type of live you want to play in. Unless I feel like joking. But at this point, I don't want to joke no more, right? Like, I literally don't want to joke. I'm sick and tired of playing with y'all. It's not a game. At this point, it's like, if you didn't get it yesterday and the day before yesterday, I'm not finna say last year because it sounds so damn stupid. Let's be 100. It sounds so stupid to say last year and it was yesterday. Literally a few hours ago. If you did not get it a few days ago, few hours ago, the day before yesterday, the day before that day, I don't know when you gonna ever get it. I don't know. And it's unfortunate because the people that still didn't get it and that still refuse to get it and that still want to stay stuck in that same mindset, I'm telling you, you will be trapped in hell. You will be trapped in hell. And I'm not talking about when you die. I'm talking about now. You're spiritually dead. And if you don't want to get it, get your ass up out of here. 5, 6, 7, 5. Get them up out of here. Get them all out. I'm tired of playing with y'all, bro. I'm sick and tired. You don't want to listen to me? You can hit the exit button. It's that simple. That simple. God ain't playing with y'all no more. You don't see it? Oh, my bad. Y'all was too stuck into the celebrations to see it. Too stuck. Get them up out of here, please. Not finna play with you. Get these people, remove these people who think it's a game today. I get it. You know, you heathens, you celebrated the New Year's and stuff like that. You enjoyed it. You turned up. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's because you're not human. Y'all clearly see everything that is on the internet. And don't get me wrong, it's the internet, but some of these things are very informative and it was placed there to help you so that you can see, but you continue to ignore it. But you continue to ignore it. Bad job. Oh, let me sit up. All right, so want to let y'all know, man, I've been feeling a little under the weather. I've been feeling a little under the weather. That's why I haven't been live for the last few days, a week. I don't feel well. I don't feel that good. But I'm still gonna push this message that I've been literally so desperate to push today. I've been wanting to go live yesterday, but I couldn't because I was just so sick. You know what I'm saying? I just feel so sick. And you know what makes me even more sick to my stomach? Seeing all you people out there still celebrating. Celebrating. What are you celebrating exactly? Are you celebrating misery? Because you celebrate, and then right after you celebrate, guess what? You got to take your robotic self back to work again. Get mad again, get depressed again, complain about the executive orders again, complain about the Trump administration again, complain about what's going on in the world again, and then you're back celebrating the holidays again. That's all you're doing. Thank you. I'm not playing with y'all, man. I'm not playing. Kathy, I don't celebrate holidays, ma'am. Not sure if you know that, but I'll give you grace because maybe you didn't know. So for all you people that's coming in here talking about Happy New Year's and all of that, I do not celebrate holidays. I do not partake in the things that the heathens partook in back in those, in those days, in those times. And actually, that's exactly what we're going to address today. And if you don't want to see it, it's obviously because you're way too blinded. You want to continue to blind yourself. Y'all, I know for a fact y'all see this stuff on the internet. I know you do. You just scroll past it. Just like I used to do when I used to celebrate holidays. By the way, I'm 4 years in. No celebrating holidays. Me and my husband, 4 years in. And when I tell you, I thought it, yes, you know, peace is boring. Peace is boring, but I would prefer peace. And excuse me if y'all see me chewing and stuff, because like I told you, I do not feel good. So I have something in my mouth right now. Um, so just to inform y'all, not sure if you got the guidelines, but you can also, you know, make some up if you want to. Yes, if you are under the age of 18, please remove yourself from this live stream. I'm not finna talk to a little child. Don't get me wrong, some of these kids is very intelligent, and I understand that some of y'all, it's like a cry for help. I understand. But I don't think y'all gonna really understand where I'm coming from. And it is sad how y'all parents be letting y'all on here listening to grown adult, like not even just that, just being in a grown adult stream. They supposed to keep you away from stuff like that. Your parents is supposed to be protecting you from stuff like that. I wouldn't even want my kid inside of a adult live stream. Adults live stream. I wouldn't even want that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand some of y'all be wanting some knowledge and stuff like that, but look, I'ma just say, if you under 18, just remove yourself. And maybe go look at some informative videos. Excuse background, got baby girl in the background or whatever. So she may be trying to like in and out, on and off saying mommy and stuff like that. But like I said, if you're under 18, remove yourself from this live, please. You do not, I don't think that y'all should be interacting with adults, young children, or teenagers. Okay? Go into another teen or a kid's live stream, please. This live stream is for adults. The adults that act so damn childish because they don't want to understand. They don't want to get it. When I feel the urgency to exit out of this live stream because I feel like y'all not going to be listening, I will do that. Until then, I have a video that I need to play. And put on your listening ears. Ashton TV Reacts is my husband. Okay? I would never put a moderator as a child. Understand that. So, do not disturb this live stream with y'all childish comments. You can leave or you will get put out. That's the truth. I'm not going to be playing with y'all today. I have no room to play with anybody. I don't play with people's kids. I don't care how old you is. I don't give a damn if
Christmas vibe is a little Caucasian child.
Get him up out of here.
She about 10, 12.
Get Blakey out of here. Blake or whatever they name. Get. You know what? Y'all parents need to come get y'all. For real. And this is exactly what I be talking about. Y'all parents don't give two F's about y'all.
You talking about how you know I'm not a kid. You're a little girl. God bless you, young lady. Go ahead on. Go eat you some snack wraps or something.
Okay. Right. So with that being said, I'm gonna highly recommend that my husband puts anybody that is not engaging with this stream, you're gonna get kicked out. You say anything other than what we're talking about, I want you out. I'm not finna play with y'all today. I'm sick and tired of it. I slept through the night. You know what's crazy? We lived our life yesterday like there was no such thing as a New Year's Eve. We literally was in the crib chilling like it was a regular day. Ain't nobody getting dressed up, taking no pictures, none of that. You know, nobody got dressed up, took pictures, I didn't do my hair, none of that. I don't have, what am I doing that for? Where am I going to someone else's house or going out to a restaurant or someplace to see the fireworks shows or whatever? Like, what am I doing all that for? What are we doing that for? What exactly are you celebrating? Do you know what you're celebrating? Do you know what you're celebrating? Because obviously in the scriptures, Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 2 tells you. It tells you. And I don't know why these pastors water down the truth and they don't tell that to the congregation. They do not say, you're not supposed to celebrate what the heathen celebrated. They don't tell y'all that. Instead, they allow y'all to keep doing it because they're doing it too. They putting these big old Christmas trees and all type of stuff up inside of the church. You know what I'm saying? And see, this is exactly why my live stream says New Year, fake world. Let me tell y'all something about y'all selves, you fake people, you fake world. You said comb your hair, right? I intentionally left my hair like this on purpose because I don't have to look good for none of y'all. None of y'all on this stream. You looking at me, you looking at my hair, you not listening to what I'm saying. That's the problem. Y'all be too worried about how somebody look, how their hair look, if they got on makeup, what type of clothes they got on. You worried about the wrong thing. Let me tell you something. Go ahead on. Thank you. I appreciate you for leaving. I appreciate you for doing what you're supposed to do. Leave. Bye-bye. Y'all see what I'm talking about? See, y'all just, I'm telling you, man, if you don't get it now, and if you didn't get it yesterday and the day before, and anytime, as y'all say, last year, right? If you didn't get it then, I don't think you're going to ever get it. You're talking about woke. Make sure that you go check out all my other live streams. I've been talking about stuff like this. This ain't nothing new. This is nothing new to me. And before I even started making videos about stuff like this, I've been talking to my husband about stuff like this. A righteous anger. A righteous anger towards these wicked weirdos, zombie bots out here that want to ignore God, that want to ignore the scriptures, but they sit themselves in church on Sunday. I'm telling you, they're going to go to church on Sunday and they're going to sit right there in the pew as if they weren't just celebrating. As if they weren't just celebrating. You know? It sickens me. It really does. And it, let me tell y'all something, okay? I don't know if y'all, okay, I think y'all think I'm just saying this, okay? I had to cut my family off 8 years ago. 8 years strong, no family. We all we got. Period. 8 years strong, no family. Get them up out of here. They worried about my hair. They worried about the way that I look, but they're not trying to listen to the message, bro. They not trying to listen. And anybody that is interacting positively in the stream and that understands where I'm coming from, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the engagement as well. I don't care how nobody feel about what I'm talking about. You can, like I told you, you could just get on up out the lab if you feel any type of way about my hair. you know, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, focus on the message. Let me go ahead and play this video for you, you zombie bots, you people that's so sleep, so in a deep sleep that you don't want to come out of it. Okay, so Rodney 1472. I want to encourage you to go to PP Drawings. We're gonna probably play his video as well. No, matter of fact, we're gonna play the master, the master's voice. I'm sure a lot of y'all on this internet probably heard of her. You know, the master's voice, Celestial. Yeah, the woman that wears the white thing on her head and she really be talking that real stuff. I'm sure a lot of y'all know about her. A lot of y'all talk down on her because y'all say stuff like, oh yeah, she thinks she's a prophet. She thinks she's a psychic. This woman, let me tell you something. I can literally tell when I'm listening to a false prophet. I'm going to just tell you that. I have removed myself away from all those false prophets that I used to listen to back in 2020, actually. This woman has said some real things, some real true prophecies that was given to her from the Most High God, and these prophecies have been fulfilled already. But y'all think she lying. Y'all think it's a bunch of BS. The things that she say is like no other. A lot of people don't say the things that she says, you know. Shout out to her. So we gonna go ahead and we gonna play her next after I play this video that y'all really need to listen to about the ritual within New Year's Eve.
You've got two teething babies.
Now,
one has a taste for shoes.
I don't have my laptop right now because
every December.
Give me a second, guys. I don't have my laptop right now because laptop is under construction. So I'm be using my phone. I'm trying to see how I'm gonna flip the camera. Obviously, I know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, y'all bear with me. But please just listen.
Something peculiar happens across every December.
So
31st.
The name of this video is New Year's Eve, the ritual that controls billions of people. Okay? And shout out to these people. Their name on YouTube is the Midnight Archives. Okay?
Something peculiar happens across the planet. Millions of people gather in freezing public spaces or cramped living rooms to watch a glowing sphere descend a pole. At a specific moment, midnight in their particular time zone, they scream numbers backward, embrace strangers, and weep. They drink a specific beverage, always the same beverage, from narrow glasses designed to make bubbles tickle their noses. They sing a song in a language most of them don't understand, holding hands with people whose names they may not know. Then, they make promises to themselves, solemn vows. This year will be different. This year, they will exercise, save money, find love, quit drinking, write that novel, call their mothers more often. They make these promises knowing, on some level, in some quiet corner of their minds,
1 second, guys.
that they will.
All right, so guys, I got an idea. I'm just gonna put it on the TV. That way we can hear it better and potentially see it better. So give me a second. Give me 1 second. I'm still here, y'all. I'm putting it on the TV, so bear with me. Unfortunately, I wish I had my laptop right now, but it is what it is. Hopefully you guys can get this message.
And then at 12:01 a.m.
Okay, we're gonna start it over from the top. Let's get it.
The world continues turning at the...
Oh.
Every December 31st, something peculiar happens across the planet. Millions of people gather in freezing public spaces or cramped living rooms to watch a glowing sphere descend a pole. At a specific moment, midnight in their particular time zone, they scream numbers backward, embrace strangers, and weep. They drink a specific beverage, always the same beverage, from narrow glasses designed to make bubbles to their noses. They sing a song in a language most of them don't understand, holding hands with people whose names they may not know. Then they make promises to themselves, solemn vows. This year will be different. This year they will exercise, save money, find love, quit drinking, write that novel, call their mothers more often. They make these promises knowing, on some level, in some quiet corner of their minds, that they will almost certainly break them within weeks. And then, at 12:01 a.m.,
You feel me?
nothing happens. The world continues turning at the same speed it always has. The stars don't shift. The laws of physics don't reset. The problems that existed at 11:59 p.m. still exist. The person you were hasn't changed. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is different. If you
Nothing.
describe this ritual to someone who had never heard of it, they would be baffled. Why this specific night? Why the backward counting? Why do people cry? Why do they kiss strangers? Why do they believe,
Come
even
on, man.
momentarily, that the arbitrary tick of a clock will transform their lives? New Year's Eve might be the most philosophically absurd holiday humans have ever invented. We celebrate the passage of time at a moment that has no astronomical, agricultural, or natural significance whatsoever. January 1st is not a solstice. It's not an equinox. It's not the beginning of a harvest cycle or the end of a season. It's approximately 10 days after the winter solstice.
Come on now.
Close enough to seem meaningful, far enough to be completely arbitrary. The date was chosen by dictators. It was imposed by conquest.
Come on now.
It was spread by colonization.
Come on, man.
And it has been maintained by a collective agreement. Billions of people deciding together to pretend that this particular moment matters. And yet, we've built an enormous apparatus of meaning around it. Resolutions, fresh starts, hope, renewal.
Yep.
We've convinced ourselves that crossing this imaginary threshold will transform us, that who we are on December the 31st and who we are on January 1st can somehow be different people.
How?
Tonight, we're going to examine New Year's Eve, the way an archaeologist examines an ancient ritual with curiosity.
I just gotta pause it right there, because how are you gonna be a different person, you know what I'm saying, 24 hours later? How?
With precision and with a willingness to see what's actually there rather than what we've been told is there. We'll ask the questions that no one thinks to ask. Why is January 1st the new year? Who decided this and why? What were they trying to accomplish? Where do our traditions actually come from? Times Square, Champagne, Old Lang Syne. These feel ancient and
Yes, Grizz, I believe that it was technically only 9 months within the year, I believe, either 10 or 9 months. But I do know that January and February never existed. You know what I'm saying? Technically, the new year really started April the 1st. This is exactly why they covered it up and they said April 1st is April Fool's Day. Ain't that crazy? April 1st was supposed to be the new year, but they called it April Fool's Day. So you a damn fool pretty much if you believe that April 1st was the new year, and it technically was. They came up with these months their own their selves. This is the if I'm pronouncing it right, the Gregorian calendar that was created by the Catholics. And it expanded, you know, and now everybody's using this calendar. But technically, guess what, y'all? In Ethiopia, it is the year 2018. Ain't that crazy? Because they use a different calendar in Ethiopia. They use the calendar that's different from this sick calendar that was created. So it's 2018 in Ethiopia. But anyway, let's keep going.
Inevitable. They are neither. Why do we make resolutions we know will break? What psychological need does this serve?
Yes, Grace.
And who profits from our repeated failure? What does our obsession with fresh starts reveal about how we actually feel about our lives and ourselves? None of this is innocent. None of it is accidental. Every tradition has a history. Every ritual serves a function. And when you start pulling at the threads of New Year's Eve, what unravels is a story about power, empire, commerce, and the human desperation for meaning in a universe that offers none. Before we continue, I want to ask you something. If you believe that understanding the origins of our rituals helps us participate in them more honestly, or choose not to participate at all, you can help us continue this work by liking this video and subscribing. Your support allows us to keep examining the stories we tell ourselves as a civilization. Tonight, we will walk through 7 chapters of New Year's hidden history. We'll begin with the calendar wars, the struggle between empires and religions to control how humans measure time itself. We'll meet the dictator who invented January 1st and the Pope who imposed it on the world. We'll watch the early church wage a centuries-long campaign against the very celebration we now consider innocent. We'll trace how ancient vows to gods became modern promises to ourselves, and how a multi-billion-dollar industry was
Don't
built
debate with them.
on our
Don't debate with
inevitable
them.
failure.
We're not doing that.
We'll stand in Times Square and see the spectacle for what it really is. We'll learn the true meaning of the song we sing but don't understand. And we'll examine the champagne in our glasses, how a regional wine became mandatory, and what we're really toasting to. By the end, you'll see New Year's Eve differently. You'll understand that when you count down from 10, you're participating in something far stranger and more constructive than you ever imagined. You'll see the empires behind the calendar, the commerce behind the celebration, the manipulation behind the hope. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find a way to celebrate that's actually honest. A way to mark the passage of time without pretending it will save you. A way to hope without being exploited. New Year's Eve is not what we think it is. It never was. Welcome to the Midnight Archives. To understand why January 1st is the beginning of the year, you first need to understand that for most of human history, it wasn't. Different civilizations started their year at different times, based on different logic for different reasons. The ancient Egyptians began their year with the heliacal rising of Sirius, the moment when the brightest star in the night sky first appeared on the eastern horizon just before dawn. This happened in mid-July by our calendar, and it coincided with the annual flooding of the Nile. the event that made Egyptian civilization possible. The river would overflow its banks, depositing rich black silt across the farmland, and another agricultural cycle would begin. The Egyptian New Year was tied to something real, a cosmic event that directly affected their survival. The Babylonians, 4,000 years ago, celebrated their new year at the first new moon following the spring equinox, usually sometime in late March. This made astronomical sense. The equinox is one of only 2 days per year, when day and night are equal, a genuine cosmic marker. Spring, with its rebirth of vegetation and return of warmth, seemed like an obvious time for beginnings. The ancient Greeks couldn't even agree among themselves. Different city-states started their year at different times. The Athenians began in midsummer. The Spartans began in autumn. There was no unified Greek calendar. Each polis kept time according to its own traditions. In medieval Europe, the situation was equally chaotic. Different kingdoms, different regions, sometimes different cities within the same kingdom celebrated the new year on different dates. Some used March 25th, the feast of the Annunciation, when the angel Gabriel supposedly told Mary she would bear Jesus. Others used December 25th, Christmas Day. Still others used Easter, which meant the new year fell on a different date every year. Imagine the confusion. A contract signed in Florence might be dated 1422, while the same day in Venice was still 1421. Travelers crossing from one jurisdiction to another might find themselves moving backward or forward in time. International commerce, diplomacy.
Okay, y'all. One second.
There's a Harbor Freight store in your neighborhood, so stop by, neighbor.
Sometimes prophecies don't mean what you think.
We need more power. This is...
Diplomacy and record keeping were nightmares of conversion and confusion. Into this chaos stepped Rome, specifically the Rome of Julius Caesar. And Caesar didn't just want to fix the calendar, he wanted to own time itself. The Roman calendar before Caesar was a mess. It was technically a lunar calendar of 355 days, which meant it fell out of alignment with the solar year by about 10 days annually. To fix this, priests were supposed to periodically add an extra month, called an intercalary month, to bring the calendar back into sync with the seasons. But here's the problem. The priests who controlled the calendar were politicians, and they quickly realized they could use the calendar as a political weapon.
Wow.
Roman officials served fixed terms. Consuls served for 1 year. Governors served for specific periods. If you wanted to extend an ally's term, you could add an extra month. If you wanted to cut short an enemy's term, you could skip the intercalation.
Wow.
The calendar became a tool of partisan warfare.
You see that, y'all?
By Caesar's time, the Roman calendar had drifted so far from astronomical reality that the traditional harvest festivals were falling in the middle of summer, and winter holidays were occurring during autumn. The entire system of Roman timekeeping had collapsed into political manipulation. Caesar saw an opportunity. As Pontifex Maximus, the high priest of Rome, a position he'd held since 63 BCE, he had authority to reform the calendar. And as the most powerful man in Rome, he had the political muscle to make the reforms stick. In 46 BCE, Caesar implemented his reform. He consulted with Sosigenes, an Alexandrian astronomer, and devised a new solar calendar of 365 days, with a leap year every 4 years. This was the Julian calendar, and with minor modifications, it's still the calendar we use today. But to implement it, Caesar first had to correct the accumulated error. The Roman calendar had drifted so far that he needed to add 90 extra days to the year 46 BCE to bring it back into alignment with the seasons. 90 days. The year 46 BCE was 445 days long. The Romans called it the year of confusion.
Wow.
Imagine living through a year that was 25% longer than normal. Imagine contracts, loans, rents, terms of service, all thrown into chaos by a dictator.
All right now, Tina Marie, thank you.
And then, on the first day of the new calendar, January 1st, 45 BCE, Caesar's new system began. This was the first time January 1st was the beginning of the year, not because of any cosmic significance, but because Caesar said so. January was named for Janus, the Roman god of doorways, beginnings, and
This is the part where y'all need to listen to. Here we
Janus
go.
was depicted with two
Hold on,
faces.
let me pause it. Let me
One
pause
looking
it.
forward.
All right, now I need y'all to listen.
Named after gods.
Yes, this
January is Janus.
January was named after a Greek goddess, just like all of the other months, okay? That was named after Greek goddesses. Y'all, I need y'all to pay attention and please listen. Please understand what you guys are celebrating. Please. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like, we're perfect because we are 4 years in, no celebrating holidays whatsoever. 4 years strong. Okay. If we can do it, you can do it. We never thought that we would stop celebrating holidays. Trust me. It was so fun. We love to engage in the fun and the sin behind it. I'm telling y'all, please pay attention to what you're celebrating. Then you wonder why, everything negative happens around you around these times. Just pay attention. So I'm going to rewind the part that y'all really need to listen to. Okay. This is very, very important. Let's go.
Caesar's new system began. This was the first time January 1st was the beginning of the year, not because of any cosmic significance, but because Caesar said so.
Because
January
Caesar
was
said
named
so.
for Janus, the Roman god of doorways, beginnings, and transitions. Janus was depicted with two faces, one looking forward, one looking back. He was the god you prayed to when entering or leaving, when starting or ending,
Wow.
when passing through any threshold.
Wow.
But Janus was also the god of war. The doors of his temple in the Roman Forum were kept open during wartime and closed during peace. In the entire history of the Roman kingdom and republic, over 700 years, the doors had been closed only twice. Rome was almost always at war. Janus was almost always watching. There's a symbolism here that's worth pausing on. The month of beginnings, the threshold of the year, was named for a god associated with warfare. New Year's Day, from its very inception, carried the shadow of violence. Caesar also placed himself in the calendar. The month of Quintilis, originally just the 5th month, was renamed Julius in his honor.
Wow.
After Caesar's assassination, Augustus would rename Sextilis after himself. The months of July and August are monuments to Roman dictators,
Wow.
markers of imperial ego embedded in our measurement of time. When you say January 1st, you're speaking a date created by Julius Caesar, using a month named for a Roman war god, in a calendar designed to demonstrate imperial power over time itself. This is the foundation of our new year. Caesar's calendar was good,
Wow, this is
but it
crazy.
wasn't perfect. The solar year is not exactly 365.25 days. It's about 365.2422 days. That difference of roughly 11 minutes per year seems trivial, but over centuries, it accumulates. By the 1500s, the Julian calendar had drifted about 10 days from astronomical reality. The spring equinox, which was supposed to fall on March 21st, was occurring on March 11th. This mattered to the church because Easter's date depends on the spring equinox. If the calendar was wrong, Easter was being celebrated on the wrong day. For an institution that believed it had the exclusive authority to interpret divine will, this was a serious problem. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII issued a papal bull introducing a reformed calendar. The Gregorian calendar adjusted the leap year rules slightly. Years divisible by 100 would not be leap years unless they were also divisible by 400. This small change brought the calendar much closer to the actual solar year. But to implement the reform, Gregory had to delete 10 days. In Catholic countries that adopted the calendar immediately, October 4th, 1582 was followed by October 15th, 1582. 10 days simply disappeared. The reform was also an assertion of papal authority. Protestant countries refused to adopt a Catholic calendar for generations. England and its colonies didn't switch until 1752, 170 years later. By that point, the Julian calendar had drifted another day, so England had to delete 11 days. September 2nd, 1752 was followed by September 14th, 1752. There's a persistent legend that English citizens rioted in the streets demanding, "Give us our 11 days." Historians debate whether actual riots occurred, but the resistance was real. People believed in some visceral way that the government had stolen time from them, that they would die 11 days sooner, that their lives had been literally shortened by decree. And in some practical sense, they were right. Rents that were due quarterly were still due on the same calendar dates, meaning landlords collected the same money for 11 fewer days of tenancy. Workers, employed by the month, worked 11 fewer days for the same pay. The calendar change was a wealth transfer, hidden in the apparent neutrality of astronomical correction. As European powers colonized the world, they brought their calendar with them, and they didn't offer options. Indigenous peoples across Africa, Asia, and the Americas had their own systems for measuring time, often sophisticated, often tied to local astronomical observations, agricultural cycles, and religious traditions. The Mayans had developed one of the most accurate calendars in human history. The Chinese lunar calendar had been refined over millennia. Hindu calendars encoded complex astronomical knowledge. Colonial administrations suppressed or marginalized these systems. Official documents, legal proceedings, commercial transactions all required the use of the colonial calendar. Indigenous timekeeping was relegated to private religious observance, treated as superstition or folklore. Many cultures still maintain that
Commercial, guys. Hold on, let's get past this commercial.
In the last 5 years,
Bear
I was an
me.
insurance agent for 30 years.
still maintain their traditional New Year celebrations. Chinese New Year, Diwali, Nowruz, Rosh Hashanah. But these exist alongside and subordinate to the Gregorian January 1st. The real New Year, the official New Year, the new year that the global economy runs on, is the Roman date imposed by European colonization. When you celebrate January 1st, you're participating in a system of timekeeping designed by a Roman dictator, adjusted by a medieval pope, and spread across the globe by colonial violence. The date is not natural, it's not inevitable, it's a political choice that became so universal, forgot it was ever a choice at all. The early Christian church inherited a problem it couldn't solve. People liked to party.
Yes.
Specifically, people liked to party in late December and early January.
Yep.
The Roman world had a well-established tradition of winter celebration, and no amount of theological disapproval was going to make it disappear. Saturnalia, the festival of Saturn, ran from December 17th to December 23rd. It was, by all accounts, the wildest party on the Roman calendar. Schools and courts closed. Work stopped. Social norms inverted. Masters served meals to their slaves. Gambling was permitted. And a spirit of controlled chaos prevailed.
Yep.
People exchanged gifts, small figurines, candles, gag presents. They decorated their homes with greenery. They feasted, drank, and engaged in behaviors that would be unacceptable the rest of the year. The poet Catullus called Saturnalia the best of days. Then came Calendae Januariae, the calends of January, the first day of the new year. This was another occasion for celebration, gift giving, public festivities, ritual visits to friends and patrons. Romans exchanged strainae, gifts of good omen, often branches from a sacred grove, sometimes coins or sweetmeats. The tradition of strainae survives in the French word étrenne, which still means New Year's gifts. The celebrations also included practices that church fathers found deeply troubling: fortune-telling, divination, the wearing of animal masks and costumes, people dressed as deer, as old women, as the opposite gender. They sang raucous songs in the streets. They drank until they couldn't stand. For the early church, this was a theological emergency. Here were Christians, or people the church hoped to convert, participating enthusiastically in pagan
Shout out
rites.
to all the people that's
They
engaged
were
and
honoring
appreciate
false
you guys.
gods. They were indulging in sins of the flesh. They were embracing a worldly, carnal joy that seemed incompatible with Christian virtue. The church's response was sustained, organized, and ultimately unsuccessful. Saint Augustine, in sermons delivered around 400 CE, thundered against New Year's gift-giving. The exchange of strainae, he argued, was a demonic practice. Christians who participated were committing idolatry, even if they didn't realize it. We must not give gifts on the calends, he insisted. We must not play games. We must not crown our doors with laurel. Other church fathers took up the cause. Ambrose of Milan condemned New Year's festivities. Maximus of Turin preached that Christians should fast on January 1st while pagans feasted. The contrast should be stark. Let the pagans have their day of gluttony, while Christians demonstrated their superiority through abstinence. Church councils issued formal prohibitions. The Council of Tours in 567 CE condemned the practice of celebrating January 1st. Other councils followed. The message was consistent. New Year's celebration was pagan, sinful, incompatible with the faith.
You hear that?
The church also tried to replace the celebration with Christian observance. January 1st was designated as the feast of the circumcision of Christ, the day, according to Jewish law, when the infant Jesus would have been circumcised, 8 days after his birth on December 25th. Instead of feasting and gift giving, Christians were supposed to contemplate this moment of blood and covenant. It was, shall we say, a hard sell. For over 1,000 years, church authorities fought this battle. And for over 1,000 years, ordinary people kept celebrating anyway. The feasting continued, the drinking continued,
Yep.
the gift giving continued. The only thing that changed was that people felt guilty about it, which for the medieval church may have been the point. Why couldn't the church suppress New Year's celebration? Part of the answer is astronomical. The winter solstice, around December 21st, is the longest night of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. After the solstice, the days begin to lengthen. The sun, which has been retreating since midsummer, begins its return. For agricultural societies dependent on sunlight for survival, this was genuinely significant. The return of the light was worth celebrating. It meant that winter would eventually end, that spring would come, that crops would grow again. The solstice celebration predates any religion. It's a response to astronomical reality, to the rhythms of the planet itself. Part of the answer is psychological. Winter in the pre-modern world was hard. Food was scarce. Work was brutal. Cold and darkness were constant companions. People needed a release valve, a moment of excess, of joy, of social connection in the darkest time of year. And part of the answer is simply that human beings like to celebrate.
They love it.
We are social animals who mark time communally. The impulse to gather, to feast, to mark transitions and thresholds. This seems to be built into us. No decree from church or state has ever successfully suppressed it. The church eventually learned this lesson. Rather than fighting the celebration, it learned to absorb it. Christmas absorbed the Saturnalia traditions of gift-giving and greenery. New Year's absorbed the traditions of feasting and fresh starts. The pagan content was hollowed out and replaced with Christian meaning, or at least Christian justification. But the celebration itself survived, transformed, channeled, sometimes guilt-laden, but present. The party that Augustine tried to stop is the same party we throw today. The only difference is that now we feel good about it. The medieval church's failure to suppress New Year's celebration didn't stop others from trying. In the 17th century England, the Puritans launched their own war on the holidays. They saw Christmas, Easter, and other feast days as popish corruptions, vestiges of Catholicism that true
King, Daughter, Faith, series, where can I find this? Okay, the name of this channel that we're listening to is called The Midnight Archives. It's called New Year's Eve, the ritual that controls billions. New Year's Eve, the ritual that controls billions, and their name is The Midnight Archives, okay? So far, it has 52,000 views on this video on their channel, and I hope it gets more because people need to really tune into this. That, you know, like I said, I'm sure that they see it, but they're just literally ignoring it. Oh, trust me, the reason why me and my husband first started, we stopped celebrating holidays, Tony, is because of when we found out about Easter, because that was the last holiday that we actually celebrated. It's crazy. On that day, we saw a video on YouTube and we tuned into it. Shout out to this guy right here. New Breed Global Truth. Y'all go follow him. He is one of the biggest reasons why we went cold turkey on not celebrating holidays. He exposed it all, the pagan holidays, all of that. So initially it was him, and then we started tuning in stronger to Pastor Stephen Darby, RIP to him. But they both have taught us about pagan holidays, and then we just really started watching videos from that point. But Easter was the last time that we ever celebrated any holiday, and that was 4 years ago. Oh, you listen to New Breed too, Tina? Yeah, you know, some things I disagree with him on, like certain things, but for the most part, though, Tina, he speaks straight truth though, especially about the pagan holidays, man. Man, shout out to, he don't even know how many lives he changed. I'm pretty sure he probably does, but honestly, he really helped us. Okay, shout out to Tina and King Daughter. You know, yes, King Daughter, we are raised, our daughter, she knows, she's 2 years old, she knows nothing about holidays. Obviously, y'all hear her in the background, she's listening to this with us. We have not introduced her to a Christmas tree, a Easter egg, a Halloween costume, nothing. She knows nothing about it. She's not even like around to, like, we never put her around to see things like that. And when we go out in public, and if it's around the holiday season, because we got to go outside to go to the grocery store and things like that, and they have like Halloween stuff up, or they have Christmas stuff up, like, you know, in December, there was people that kept trying to say, oh, look at the baby, she's so cute, oh my God, what is she getting for Christmas? We instantly told them, like, we do not celebrate Christmas. Somebody tried to argue us up and down, talking about, oh, well, she's just young, you shouldn't do that to her. I'm like, first of all, this is our child. How the hell you gonna tell us what to introduce her to? I'm not introduced. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see what we're listening to right now? Do you hear the history behind all of this stuff? Please do not let your children engage in these satanic holidays, man. Please. Like I said, we have not introduced our daughter to not Nan holiday. She knows nothing about it. And I'm telling you, when I tell you it is the best thing ever, trust me. Trust me. Shout out to Tina. Right, King Daughter. You said I watched Newbury, not, but I agree on certain aspects, and that's okay. Yeah, it's like so certain things that he talks about, obviously, we don't agree with, but you know, it's certain things that he speak on, that he talk about, that's straight truth, and we agree with that. Just because you don't agree with certain things that someone says don't mean that you could just completely dislike them and dismiss, you know. I'm just saying. He said people don't understand when you say I don't celebrate. Yes, exactly, Tina. They say that to us all the time. Oh, just, you gotta live a little doing what? Doing what exactly? Celebrating the things that the heathen celebrated? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? I'm living my life the right way. You know, the way that Christ wants us to live our lives. You know, people try to say, oh, well, if you ain't working and stuff like that, you know, life ain't about that. You need to work. They say stuff like that. Oh, just live a little. Oh, you being boring. You ain't trying to celebrate holidays. I had somebody stand right in my face, and I told them, I said, you know, these holidays are fake. It's made up. It's pagan. They said, yeah, I know. I still try to have my little fun while I can. I couldn't believe they said that in my face. I said, you're dismissed. Please, there's the door. Pretty much. You said you could feel the fight for alignment. You could feel the false spirits make you feel bad for not celebrating. Exactly. Well, they try, you know. Trust me, it's even more difficult when you gotta dismiss your own parents. Yeah, because they don't understand. Ain't it sick how your own parents don't get it? They're the ones that introduced you to this. That introduced us to this. When we were born in this world, y'all, Now, I'm not gonna say this is the case for everybody, because I did see this one lady talking about how when she was born, her parents didn't celebrate holidays and stuff, and then she started to find out about it and she went to go and celebrate it herself. She said her parents were crazy for not celebrating the holiday, you know. But majority of us were born into this celebration of the paganism, and it's up to us to find out what's true and stop. Unfortunately, we got our own parents that sit here and they want to keep going. They don't want to stop, and it's sickening. Yeah, for real. You're dismissed. You said, yeah, till this day say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Eid. Exactly. What's wrong? Yeah, so you know, we're gonna keep going with this video. I got a couple more videos, so I might have to cut this one short because obviously, as you guys can see, it's an hour and 27 minutes. I got a few more videos we gotta watch and go over. So what's wrong? So we're gonna let this one go. We're gonna do about 20 more minutes on this one, and then we're gonna go to the next one, guys, because we got so many things to unravel. We got, so you know how y'all unraveling those gifts from underneath the trees and stuff like that on December the 25th. Well, guess what? I got a few videos that I want to unravel for y'all too. So you just pay attention and stop blinding yourselves. And I'm not talking about the people that gets it. I'm not talking to the people that understands. I'm talking to the people that's coming through this live stream and they're literally blinding themselves and they're covering their ears and they don't want to hear it. Just stop. 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 And just pay attention. You said they had years of this practice before releasing deception upon the masses. They don't like the idea of you being Christ, which is the truth. Yes. Yes.
Hey, relax.
Oh, no problem, Tina. I want to encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button and, you know, go check out all my other live streams. This is my first time back live. I haven't been live in a few days because I haven't been feeling well. But other than that, I usually just talk straight up about the truth. Sometimes I do have just a little bit of, like, you know, humor in my live streams along with the truth. So, but yeah, I tell the uncomfortable truth for the most part. And a lot of people, they don't like that, but a lot of people, they do. So we're going to keep this going for a couple, 20 more minutes, y'all. Let's go.
Protestants should reject. In 1647, the Puritan-controlled Parliament actually banned Christmas. Shops were required to stay open. Churches were required to stay closed. Soldiers patrolled the streets, enforcing sobriety. New Year's celebration faced similar disapproval. The Puritans viewed it as a worldly indulgence, a distraction from godly work, an occasion for sin. The same logic that condemned Christmas condemned New Year's. In colonial New England, Puritan attitudes shaped early American culture. Christmas was not widely celebrated in New England until well into the 19th century. New Year's celebrations were more accepted. They lacked the Catholic associations of Christmas, but they were supposed to be sober, reflective occasions for taking stock of one's...
Commercial.
This robotic puppy is so lifelike, it actually fooled my neighbour who's veterinarian. I've been a grandmother for 15 years, and this is the smartest
Right.
Taking stock of one's spiritual condition. The Puritan suspicion of celebration left a mark on American culture that persists today. There's always been a strain of American thought that views pleasure as suspect, festivity as frivolous, joy as somehow irresponsible. Even as we celebrate New Year's Eve, part of us feels guilty about it, feels that we should be doing something more productive, more serious, more worthy. This is the theological inheritance we bring to New Year's Eve. 2,000 years of authorities telling us that celebration is sinful, that joy is dangerous, that we should feel bad about feeling good. The party continues despite this inheritance, but the guilt continues too. The New Year's resolution is not a modern invention. People have been making promises at the New Year for at least 4,000 years.
Wow.
The Babylonians,
Wow.
during a
4,000?
12-day New Year festival called Akitu, made promises to their gods. They would return borrowed objects. They would pay their debts. They would right the wrongs of the previous year. These weren't self-improvement projects. They were religious and social obligations. If you had borrowed your neighbor's plow, you gave it back. If you owed money to a creditor, you settled up. The logic was theological. The gods were watching. The New Year was a time of divine judgment, when the gods determined
Nigeria.
the fate of individuals and nations for the coming year. Making and keeping your promises was a way of currying divine favor, of entering the new year with a clean slate before heaven. The Romans had similar traditions. They made promises to Janus, the two-faced god who watched over beginnings and endings. Roman New Year vows were often public, political, civic. Magistrates promised to uphold the laws. Soldiers renewed their oaths of loyalty. Citizens committed to the welfare of the state. In medieval Europe, knights renewed their vows at the end of the Christmas season. They would place their hands on a peacock, the symbol of immortality and integrity, and recommit to the values of chivalry. This peacock vow was a public performance, a demonstration of honor before one's peers. Notice what all these ancient resolutions have in common. They were external. They were promises made to gods, to communities, to social institutions. They were about fulfilling obligations to others, not improving oneself. The ancient resolution was fundamentally relational. It bound you to something larger than yourself. The modern New Year's resolution, the promise to lose weight, exercise more, quit smoking, be a better person, is a fundamentally different thing. It's private rather than public, psychological
They got the
rather
peacock
than social,
on a tray.
focused on the self rather than the community. This transformation happened gradually, but the Protestant Reformation was crucial. Luther and Calvin redirected religious focus from external observance to internal faith. What mattered was not the rituals you performed, but the state of your soul. Salvation was a matter between you and God. No priest, no sacrament, no institution could mediate it. This theological shift encouraged constant self-examination. Protestants were supposed to monitor their own spiritual condition, to search their hearts for signs of grace or damnation. The inner life became the primary terrain of religious work. The new year became an occasion for this self-examination. Puritan diaries from the 17th and 18th centuries show believers taking spiritual inventory at year's end, examining their sins, resolving to do better, recommitting to godly discipline. The resolution was becoming personal. Benjamin Franklin, in many ways the archetypal American, took this process to its logical extreme. His famous project of moral perfection, tracking his daily adherence to 13 virtues, was a secularized version of the Puritan self-examination. The goal was no longer to please God, but to improve oneself. The methods were the same.
Wow.
Careful observation, honest accounting, renewed resolution. By the 19th century, the New Year's resolution was recognizably modern. Newspaper editorials encouraged readers to use the new year as an occasion for self-improvement. The language shifted from religious to secular. Not, I resolve to be more godly, but I resolve to wake earlier, or I resolve to drink less. The object of improvement was no longer the soul, but the self. And the self was increasingly understood in terms of habits, behaviors, productivity. Today, the New Year's resolution is big business. The self-improvement industry in the United States alone is worth over $70 billion annually. This includes gym memberships, diet programs, self-help books,
Wow.
apps, courses, coaching, supplements,
Come on.
equipment, and countless other products and services designed to help people become better versions of themselves. And New Year's is the industry's Super Bowl. Gym memberships spike dramatically in January. Fitness centers explicitly plan for this.
Oh, wow.
They oversell memberships,
Oh,
knowing that
wow.
most January joiners will
Oh,
stop coming
wow.
by February. A gym that can comfortably accommodate 300 members
It's
might sell
all
1,000
consumption,
memberships,
man.
confident that only 300 will ever show up at the same time. Diet programs launch massive advertising campaigns in late December and
Yes.
early January. Weight Watchers, Noom, Jenny Craig all ramp up their
Wow.
marketing to capture resolution makers.
Right?
The message is always the same.
No wonder why they
This
go
year
up on the
will be
prices
different.
every year.
This program will work. This time, you'll finally succeed. Self-help book sales peak in the first quarter of the year. Publishers time their releases accordingly. The promise is always transformation. Read this book and become the person you've always wanted to be. But here's the thing. The industry depends on failure.
Yep.
Studies
they do.
consistently show that somewhere between 80 and 90% of New Year's resolutions fail. Most people have abandoned their resolutions by mid-February.
Yes.
The gym empties out. The diet lapses. The book sits unfinished on the nightstand. And then, next January, they try again. They rejoin the gym. They start a new diet. They buy another book. The cycle repeats, year after year, failure after failure. If people actually achieved their resolutions, if they got fit, stayed fit, and stopped needing gym memberships and diet programs, the industry would collapse. The business model depends on repeat customers. It depends on failure. This isn't necessarily a conspiracy. No shadowy cabal is deliberately designing programs to fail, but the incentive structure is real. Companies that help people achieve permanent change put themselves out of business. Companies that provide temporary motivation, followed by predictable relapse, have customers for life. Why do we keep making resolutions when we know they'll probably fail? Psychologists have identified what they call the fresh start effect. Temporal
Look at this.
landmarks, New Year's, birthdays, the start of a new week, even the first of
Wow.
a new month, create a sense of psychological distance from our past selves. We feel, in some hard to articulate way, that the person who failed before is not quite the same person who is resolving now. This can be motivating. The fresh start effect does increase goal-setting behavior. People are more likely to begin new projects, start new...
Tina says, I used to work for Target Distribution Center and the consumerism hit me like a brick. What are we doing? Why? Exactly. The consumerism is ridiculous around this time. Watch and see how people are going to start spending up some more money and then they're going to be depressed again. You know, just like he said, the guilt hits them. The guilt is the fact that they know that they're spending too much money. They know that what they're doing, they don't want to do it because it's money that's involved. See, a lot of people are very selfish and greedy all at the same time. So it's like, man, I shouldn't have spent that much. They have a budget. That's really all they think about. It's the guilt behind spending too much money because they feel like, man, I could have used this for something else, but they can't go without celebrating though. They can't stop. They feel like that they feel like their lives won't ever last if they don't celebrate. Because people hate to sit alone at home, or they just hate to be bored. Boredom, peace is boredom, to be honest. When you at peace, it does get boring. But I'm telling you, man, when you tune into this, for what's going on in the world, y'all, okay, yeah, let me go, because I just kind of forgot what I was about to say.
Habits and make commitments at temporal landmarks than at random points.
All right, we're going to do this. I think we got 10 more minutes left on it. Yeah, 10. Okay, commercial.
Can you make it from there? Hey, Caitlin.
The same mechanism that motivates us to start also gives us permission to fail. If we lapse, we can wait for the next fresh start, next Monday, next month, next year. The temporal landmark becomes not just a starting point, but an excuse for delay. And the arbitrary nature of January 1st may actually undermine sustained effort. Real change, the kind that sticks, typically requires ongoing adjustment, course correction, and persistence through setbacks. The January 1st mindset encourages all or nothing thinking. Either you're keeping your resolution or you're not. Once you've failed, you might as well wait until next year to try again. The resolution ritual may actually make lasting change harder, not easier. It channels our desire for improvement into a structure almost designed to produce failure. There's something worth examining in the resolution ritual beyond its effectiveness or lack thereof. The tradition encodes a message about what human life should be. The message is, you are not good enough as you are. You need to be fixed. You need to be improved.
Yep, we got
Your
standing in the
value depends
mirror.
on constant striving toward a better version of yourself. This is the ideology of capitalism applied to the self.
And is that money?
Just as
around
the
there?
economy must always grow, must always produce more, must never be satisfied with the current state of things, so too must you. You are a project to be optimized, a product to be improved, an asset to be developed. Contentment becomes impossible, or at least suspect. To be satisfied with yourself as you are, this is framed as complacency, as settling, as failure to achieve your potential. The only acceptable stance toward the self is one of perpetual dissatisfaction and perpetual striving. The New Year's resolution is the ritual expression of this ideology. Once a year, we formally acknowledge that we are inadequate. We list our deficiencies.
That's
We
exactly
commit to
why our
fixing
daughter
them.
isn't in school,
We
Grizzly.
participate in a cultural moment that assumes and reinforces the inadequacy of the self. What would it mean to approach the new year not as a project of self-improvement, but as an affirmation of self-acceptance? To enter January not with a list of failures to fix, but with gratitude for what is. To resist the ritual of inadequacy and simply be. This is not an argument against growth or change. It's an observation that the resolution ritual, specifically as it has developed in our culture, serves purposes that may not be in our interest. It keeps us buying. It keeps us striving. It keeps us dissatisfied. And it does this by taking our genuine desire for meaning and channeling it into forms that serve commerce. Times Square wasn't always the center of American New Year's celebration. Before 1904, It wasn't even called Times Square.
What was it
The
called?
area was known as Longacre Square, named
Wow.
after a similar district in London. It was the center of New York's carriage trade, harness makers, horse traders, stables. Not glamorous, but vital to the city's transportation infrastructure. In 1904, the New York Times moved its headquarters to a new skyscraper at the intersection of 7th Avenue and Broadway. The newspaper's owner, Adolph Ox, was a master of publicity. He lobbied the city to rename the square after his paper. And the city, seeing the value of associating the area with a prestigious newspaper, agreed. To celebrate the move, Ox threw a massive New Year's Eve party. On December 31st, 1904, an estimated 200,000 people gathered in the newly renamed Times Square. There were fireworks launched from the roof of the Times building. There were concerts and celebrations. At midnight, the crowd erupted. It was a triumph of publicity. Ox had created a public event that associated his newspaper with celebration, with the new year, with the future of New York City. The Times Square New Year's Eve was, from its very first moment, a marketing operation. Early New Year's Eve celebrations in New York were genuinely dangerous. Before Times Square became the center of celebration, New Year's Eve in New York was a chaotic, sometimes violent affair. People gathered in the streets, drank heavily, and fired guns into the air at midnight. The practice of shooting guns to mark the new year was widespread across America, and it killed people every year. Fireworks were another hazard. Unregulated, set off by amateurs in crowded streets, they caused fires and injuries. Every New Year's brought reports of people burned, buildings damaged, celebrations turned to tragedy. The crowds themselves were dangerous. Without modern crowd control techniques, without barriers or designated areas, masses of people packed into streets created crush risks. People were trampled, suffocated, injured in panics. In 1907, the city banned the fireworks that had been launched from the Times building's roof. The displays were spectacular, but the fire risk in a city still full of wooden buildings was too great. Ox needed a new spectacle. The solution was elegant. A ball of light, lowered from the top of the Times building at midnight. The first Times Square ball, lowered on December 31st, 1907, was made of iron and wood, studded with 125-watt light bulbs.
What the heck? They was trying to.
5 feet in
What was they trying to
diameter and
do?
weighed about 700 pounds.
125 light bulbs?
It was lowered
What?
down a flagpole by building engineers, reaching the bottom at precisely midnight. The ball was visible for blocks. It was spectacular without being dangerous. It gave the crowd something to focus on, a shared visual experience that climaxed at exactly the right moment. And it was controllable. The Times owned the ball, owned the building, owned the spectacle. The ball drop continued every year except 1942 and 1943, when wartime blackout regulations made the illumination inappropriate. Even during those years, crowds gathered in Times Square. They just did so in darkness, marking midnight with a moment of silence instead of light. The ball has been redesigned multiple times over the decades. Today's ball is 12 feet in diameter, weighs nearly 12,000 pounds, and is covered with 2,688 Waterford crystal triangles,
Wow.
illuminated by 32,200.
Why gotta be triangles though? You know, pyramid.
Of displaying 16 million colors. It's a technological marvel. It's also a product placement. The Waterford Crystal brand has been associated with the ball since 2000. Every shot of the ball is a shot of Waterford Crystal. The technological upgrade was also a marketing upgrade. The televised version of Times Square New Year's Eve is a spectacle of celebration. What you don't see on television is what it's actually like to be there. If you want to be anywhere near the ball drop, you need to arrive early, very early. The prime viewing areas require arrival in the early afternoon for a midnight event.
Look at their
That
eyes,
means standing
though.
in a designated pen for 8 to 10 hours. Yes, pens. The crowd is divided into sections, separated by barriers. Once you're in your pen, you can't leave. If you leave to use the bathroom, you can't come back.
Ooh.
The streets are closed. There's nowhere to go anyway. Speaking of bathrooms, there aren't many.
What you talking about?
Some people wear adult diapers.
What?
This is not a joke.
What?
If you search for advice on attending time,
What? Did you hear that? These people will sit and wait hours to watch the ball drop, y'all. And if they walk off to go to the bathroom, they can't come back. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna get back. They're not gonna be able to get let in. So being that, you know, if they walk, if they have to go to the bathroom and they know that they can't get back in, they wear adult diapers. This is sick. This is sick. Just to watch a ball drop? Are you kidding me? Look at these people's eyes. This is exactly how they was looking last night in Times Square too. I saw it. I didn't sit, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't watch it the whole thing because I was scrolling through my YouTube channel, on my YouTube homepage or whatever, you know, just to see what all was going on and, you know, possibly who all was going live and what exactly were the people engaging in yesterday. And I came across, you know, the Times Square, obviously every year on December 31st, crowds and crowds of people, thousands, millions of people is out there waiting for the ball to drop, bro, at 12 midnight. So they can yell out Happy New Year's, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be freaking kidding me that people wear adult diapers. We're wearing adult diapers so they wouldn't miss their spot. You gotta be kidding me. This is so sick. It doesn't make any type of sense. That's a shame. This is how it is, Tina. We always end up, you know, the black sheep of the family, pretty much. We're only ones that stand out in the family because we ask questions. We don't do things the way that the family does. You know, there's actually a live stream that my husband did a couple days ago about family, you know, and how your family, they will try to keep you imprisoned in the mind because they feel like, you know, this is how we was raised up. This is how we was, you know, taught. So we got to teach you the same exact thing. And if you go against that, it's like you going against the oath within the family. You breaking the oath in the family. And they don't want to invite you over anymore. They don't want to talk to you anymore. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They feel like you're crazy. They feel like you going crazy. They feel like you practice what do they call it? An occult religion. They feel like you practice a cult religion because you know the truth. And they know, like they know the truth, but they continue to ignore it. They know the truth, but they continue to ignore it.
I ain't heard nobody, you know, throwing out that conspiracy word in a long time. I mean, that's
Exactly. No, see, the thing that they say now is the same exact thing that someone had came in this live stream and said earlier. Oh, here you go talking again. I don't want to hear that. Shut the F up. You know what I'm saying? They're blatantly telling you to shut up. They blatantly telling you that because they're sick and they're tired of hearing the truth. Now, I want to rewind this part where he said they stood outside in adult diapers. I'm going to rewind that specific part a little bit, and then we're going to go to the next video.
A marketing upgrade. The televised version of Times Square New Year's Eve is a spectacle of celebration. What you don't see on television is what it's actually like to be there. If you want to be anywhere near the ball drop, you need to arrive early, very early. The prime viewing areas require arrival in the early afternoon for a midnight event. That means standing in a designated pen for 8 to 10 hours. Yes, pens. The crowd is divided into sections, separated by barriers. Once you're in your pen, you can't leave. If you leave to use the bathroom, you can't come back. The streets are closed. There's nowhere to go anyway. Speaking of bathrooms, there aren't many. Some people wear adult diapers.
What the heck, man?
This is not a joke.
This is sick.
If you search for advice on attending Times Square New Year's Eve, you will find serious recommendations to wear absorbent undergarments because the bathroom situation is that bad.
What?
You can't sit down. The crowd is too dense. For 8 to 10 hours.
No, seriously? You gotta be kidding me. What?
Sweetie, you good?
So hold on straight. Okay, give me a second, y'all. Bear with me.
Force 24/7 Swift.
Bear with me. Hold on, man.
10 hours you stand. Late December in New York means temperatures that drop into the 20s or teens.
Look at it. Do y'all see? Look, this is exactly how these people look for real nowadays in the modern time. I'm telling you, man, they stand out there and they stand behind gates like prisoners and stuff. Like they are imprisoning themselves. They're doing this to themselves. Sorry, I had to raise my voice about it because, oh my God, I didn't really know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really know what goes on behind closed doors, you know, in Times Square on December the 31st. When people are signing themselves up to be prisoners, you want to stand outside in the early afternoon and wait in freezing cold temperatures all the way to 12 midnight to watch a ball drop. And then it recommends that you guys online, it tells you, make sure that you wear an adult You gotta be freaking kidding me. You have to be kidding me. You are wearing an adult diaper. I can only imagine. Then y'all be seeing the little kids out there and stuff. So what if they gotta use the bathroom? What? Oh my God, this is so sick. I'm disgusted right now. That y'all literally will put y'allselves through something like this. You know,
well, I guess
so
it makes sense to why they stand outside for like materialistic things. Like
exactly. Yes.
You know, freezing and down.
That was the day. What was it? 10 degrees. So
it was colder than that.
Was it 8 degrees, 9 degrees?
It was.
I think it was below something.
I'll do my homework real quick.
Honestly, if you ask me,
colder than that too, because I had to go to the store that day and I didn't want to, but I still went. It was like temperatures was crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, because he had recorded a video of a long line of people. What was it, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, where people were standing outside waiting for those doggone Jordans and stuff. Literally standing outside looking like real zombies, just like this, waiting for those Jordans in the freezing cold.
Yep.
Straight zombie bites.
It was a line almost around the corner. Well, y'all see the videos on the internet. That's what they do when this Jordan's released.
This is sick, man. I feel so sick, bro.
I don't care about them Jordans and I don't need none of that stuff.
Standing still.
Sorry. Okay. So, all right. So y'all go finish watching this. Obviously we had to, this is an hour and 27 minutes long. We stopped at 50 minutes. Okay. So keep in mind, the name of this channel is The Midnight Archives. And they just uploaded this video actually 1 day ago. So you will be able to see it once you go on their channel. And if you want to start it over, I encourage you to. Or I encourage you to finish the rest of it. We're going to go on into the next video now. Man, I don't even know which one to play now, but I think we should watch this one first. And then the last one that we're gonna drop on y'all is straight up knowledge. This is on commercial, so give me a second.
To meet his grandson for the first time and spoil him rotten.
Okay.
Something's up, something's weird, and something's coming.
A lot of New Year's
What the
events are
hell?
being canceled globally because of potential threats.
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here,
Okay, so the name of this lady's channel is what is her name? Belinda Starnet. And this is no disrespect, bro, to Africans or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I really dislike that they do now on YouTube is they react to Americans, black and white Americans, and our opinions, you know, about what's going on here in our country. And a lot of these Africans on YouTube is starting to do that. And it's like to be honest, to be really honest with y'all, they really look at us and they look at us and they laugh at us, to be honest, y'all. So I just want to let y'all know that they're not just reacting because they feel for us and it's like, oh, the American people, I understand where they're coming from. No, they react to laugh at us pretty much. They're laughing, they mocking us, and they're trying to dress like us, look like us. I'm not saying that they can't look nice with their wigs and makeup and stuff like that, but Africans is really starting to like dress and act like Black American women. That's the truth, okay? So I couldn't hold that back. I'm sick and tired of seeing it. It's sickening. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they sit there and they react to what's going on in America and they really want to laugh. They really want to laugh. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel some type of way that America wasn't paying Africa any attention when the things were happening in their country. You know what I'm saying? So being that Babylon is falling, now it's like, let's react to what's going on. Let's react to what's going on in their country, guys. Look at their country. It's falling apart before our very eyes, which, you know, rightfully so. Get your popcorn, sit your behind down and watch what's going on. But it really kills me when y'all sit here and y'all go online and y'all react on y'all channels and stuff. I have never in my life seen these many African YouTubers on YouTube, man. Yes, you know what I'm saying? What he say? Whole world a joke. When you get it, just laugh. You know what I'm saying? You know, these things are just so laughable that, like I be telling my husband, excuse the background, y'all. My daughter, we trying to keep her busy too. She got her little cooking set or whatever, so excuse me right now. Yeah, because if I go in the other room, she's gonna scream and holler. She really is attached like a mug at this point. I guess it's just a little phase that she's going through. So sorry about that, y'all. But hey, hopefully y'all can hear me. Yeah, I just wanted to say that, man. You know, y'all sit and y'all react to what's going on in America as if it's not tragedy happening in Nigeria right now. Right, they trying to get married to stay here in dysfunctional America. You feel me? It's literally tragedy happening in Africa and Nigeria right now. Christians being persecuted. Let's be 100. And y'all sitting up here reacting to Black and white Americans. Anyway, you know, that stuff right there just irks me. You know, and I'm not trying to, you know, defend America because honestly, America is facing judgment right now. America is facing judgment. Okay. We can't even blind ourselves from that because that is what's happening. We are facing judgment. We idolize and worship other people and other things too much. And God don't like that. Okay. We got a jealous God. you know what I'm saying? He don't want us to idolize anything or anyone but y'all, yet and still you continue to do so. Then you got Africans sitting up here laughing at us, you know, and y'all think it's okay because y'all ain't saying nothing about it. I'm not talking about the people that's in the chat. I'm just saying in general, like, you think that it's okay that Africans are on here. Bro, I'm telling you, I have never in my life seen these many African YouTube content creators. They all over. They from South Africa, you know, Nigeria, Kenya, all of that, whatever, you know, and they just sitting back reacting to us. And then if they ain't doing reactions to Black and white Americans, you know what they doing? They're doing transformation, hair and makeup transformations, trying to look like a Black woman. But let them tell it, they are Black, but they don't like Black women. I'm not saying all Africans, you know what I'm saying? But most African women, they do not like Black women. They don't. Anyway, let's go.
It's Belinda Strada. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers.
Of course, thank you for the love. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Don't make me react to you, ma'am. Of course, thank you for the love and support, because you know the sickening part about it? It's the fact that Black Americans is literally following your channel and they're okay with the things that you do. You and other African content creators.
Yeah, my videos with commentaries and also educate each and every one.
So I'm a fast forward because I don't even want to hear that.
See.
Anyway.
Some potential threats. Not only is it counsel in maybe and please do not forget that we do not stop.
Potential threats? I don't understand how we're so sure. Oh, well, not all, but
trying to rewind y'all to get to the
educational
part.
And informative purposes. All right, lovelies, let's dive into
something's up.
Okay, anyway, now it says Black and white Americans react as the world moves to cancel New Year's Eve. Now, she uploaded this a week ago. I'm not sure if the New Year's Eve plans were really canceled worldwide, but honestly, from what I heard, from what I seen in my city here in Chicago, I know that according to what's his name, Brandon Johnson, they were still gonna have celebrations. You know, sick politicians who love to help the people celebrate. They don't want you to stop. You know what I'm saying? They need you to keep spending money in their city.
Something's weird and something's coming. Because what do you mean all New Year's Eve events are canceled around the world? Well, not all, but majority of them around the world, not in just one country, because of potential threats? I don't understand how we're so sure of all these potential threats, and they just have never done that before. People threaten every day, and I just don't believe that this is what it seems like. I think there's something else being set up. I do. I really think they're going to start implementing something that's going to lead to, you know, a more systematic New World Order that is more in place and more enforced. I don't know. I just feel that this is weird. And you know what? I just came across a video of a man speaking on a prophetic warning that he said that he had gotten from God, and said that this will be the last Christmas. And I know nobody knows the day or hour that Jesus is returning. I don't think he was speaking on this will be the last Christmas because next Christmas Jesus is coming back. He was saying that this will be the
Look
last
at her
Christmas
reaction
that
though.
things will be normal. And we don't know what's to come. He could be completely right, he could be completely wrong. I don't know. But I feel like it was very, very deep, and it felt.
Do y'all see her reaction? How she's reacting though?
Like, have been wondering when will the last.
She like, just shut up.
Celebrate as a society. When will we have our last Christmas? Believe me, I really have questioned that. Like, what if this is our last Christmas, or what if this is our last Thanksgiving? What if the world completely changes in the year and Jesus came back, or something else happened, or the world is completely I don't know, under complete domination and control? Like, well, it already practically is, but in a different manner, in a manner that we've never seen before. I'm just saying, I just feel like something's coming. And I don't mean to sound pessimistic or, you know, try to scare anybody, but I'm just sending out a warning of making sure you are standing in truth with God and have Christ on your heart, Christ in your life. This is the time to get closer to God. I will always say it. I will give that message in almost every video that I make. To be close to God, to be close, have Christ, not just God, but Christ in your heart. Because I don't know what is coming exactly, but I just know prophecy never lies. And there's going to be things that really will erupt in this nation. I've been a little bit worried about what next year's gonna look like. Because this world is so crazy, but you know, let's hold on tight. Let's see what 2026 brings us, because it might not be good. We're only getting closer to the mark of the beast. We're only getting closer to the end. That just is what every day is getting closer to be honest.
Right.
So, am I necessarily surprised? No. But, I mean, I've never seen this happen with all these events being canceled. Something's up.
A lot of New Year's events are being canceled
We are not about to watch
because
this.
of potential
I don't know what
threats.
this is.
And I just think that's probably the best thing.
I feel sick just looking at it right now, but yeah, we're gonna fast forward, guys. I don't want to see
That
this.
just happened in the world.
If you ain't a real man
People causing this
speaking,
I just don't think that's a good idea. So
how the
honestly,
hell
it's
can you
probably for
sit
the
there
best,
and watch
you know?
them?
It's unfortunate that that's. I fully understand.
Or watch
why they would-
it?
And I just don't know if that's
No,
necessary.
I can't. Ew. What is that? I'm sorry. Like,
Pulling back major
it's
events.
not
You got
a
Tokyo
woman.
pulling back major events. You got the USA pulling back major events, especially New York. I'm hearing there's about to be deep stipulations. A lot of things that's in effect. So if you was in New York last year for New Year's Eve, you're going to see a major difference this time around. And so what reports are saying is y'all know the 4 people that got caught in California that they say was doing a terror plot on New Year's Eve? So apparently it wasn't just supposed to happen in California. I'm hearing they had different locations that was supposed to get fucked up. One being New York. So now the moderate threat level is very high. And it's not just in America, y'all. Like I said, it's globally. We've seen the events that happened in Palm Beach. Now, given what I just said,
Bro, you got a nose
something's
ring
gonna
in
happen.
it, bro.
I'm just letting you know that there's a high level and they're treated as such. So if you're out and about in a big location, a big event somewhere for New Year's Eve, just pay attention to your surroundings. Because when you got places making major headlines like this, it just make you want to pay attention. That's all I'm telling y'all to do is pay attention, fool. You never know. Something can happen anytime, any place, anywhere, any second.
Listen, the Lord had alerted my spirit concerning New Year's Eve, and come to find out, I didn't even know this information until literally today. And I went and I was digging a little deeper, but the Lord had impressed in my spirit to be very watchful and just to begin to pray for New Year's Eve for America, in particular, New York City. Now, something interesting is the FBI arrested 4 individuals in California for alleged involvement in a plot to detonate pipe. I can't say the word, I don't think. On multiple U.S. company locations. And they were planning it for New Year's Eve. But on top of that, they're saying that it was a terrorist threat, allegedly. And what they did was they was apprehending the suspects on December the 12th. So that wasn't too long ago.
So I don't know if y'all trying to warn the people or is y'all upset that New Year's Eve plans were so-called canceled. You know, I'm not too sure exactly what y'all trying to do here, you know, but I'll listen for a couple more minutes and then I'm going to the next video.
Now they were preparing, what happened was they were preparing to basically test the explosive devices at multiple locations, and that was how the FBI was able to catch them. Now cities in other countries are starting to basically cancel all of their New Year's Eve celebrations and their countdown events and all of that other stuff. They're saying that it is an heightened global security concern. Global, okay? And so major cities across across the world are canceling New Year's Eve activities, celebrations. They're even saying that in New York City, there's going to be in heightened security there, which is very interesting because the Lord literally showed me New York City. I had a very interesting discernment surrounding New Year's Eve that something terrible was going to happen. Now, this is a time where when God downloads things like this, people who know God need to pray. Pray for your cities. If you are a person of prayer, you stay in prayer. Pray for your city, the surrounding areas, because we know that prayer changes the trajectory of what the enemy is trying to do in the atmosphere. We don't know the demonic cantations and demonic spirits.
That's facts. So, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I need y'all to listen to this other video that's extremely important. Shout out to her. But we're gonna rewind. This is Sister Celestial. Okay. The name of her channel is The Master's Voice Prophecy. She made this video literally 6 months ago, around the same exact time that, now mind you, I didn't start following her until this year, but I've been came across her channel a long time ago. I guess I just wasn't in that woke mindset yet. You know, I wasn't fully awakened. You know, I really felt like, you know, just like everybody else, oh, she's a false prophet, da 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 da. But, you know, it just took for me to have my little spiritual awakening over time. And let's fast forward to now. I started following her a few months ago. And when I tell you she is the truth, she does tell the truth. She speaks straight from the heart. You know what I'm saying? God is telling her these things, and I could feel it myself. There's a few dreams that she's had that I've kind of had similar dreams as well. What else was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say, so she made this video about 6 months ago, right? It was around the same exact time that I had made a similar video. You know, I had to speak on it because I know that it was God telling me to pretty much warn people that, you know, people are going to turn into real demons. Nope. No. Don't touch that.
Hey, what are you doing?
So anyway, yeah, so the name of this video is Warning, Demonic Activity is Increasing. Be on your guard. She had this dream March 15th, 2024. And she's going to tell you guys her dream. And this video is 34 minutes long, and we're going to listen to the whole entire thing. So if you ain't ready to listen to this, please just leave. I appreciate you, Grizz, for still being here. Anybody else that's been here since the lab started or whatnot. Thank you, guys.
And so the next parts that the Lord was giving me is that the spirit of death is actively walking the earth. Actively walking the earth. That there's going to be mass deaths, mass accidents, and mass killings. We're talking about people blowing things up. We're talking about people recklessly shooting into crowds. We're talking about boats sinking and the entire crew and all passengers lost. I saw that amusement park rides are going to be having terrible accidents, either crashing to the ground or rides are going to catch on fire and people are going to be trapped in there. And the reason behind all this, God was showing me, is the increasing, and I'm not going to say mischief, this is the increasing deliberate efforts of people, of Satan, to reap his pound of flesh. I spoke at length in the beginning, as the Spirit of the Lord was moving my heart, that Satan is not the one to try and test in these days. I spoke this since 2022. The way of the wicked is darkness and thorns. I said that the repercussions of sin are going to be coming back at Australian boomerang speed. You throw it out, that thing is coming back straight into your face, straight into the Adam's apple or the throat. break your chest wall open. It's coming back. Satan is going to catch it, multiply it, and Dragon Ball Z it back to you so hard that it's going to blow you directly into the open casket that he has set behind you. These are not the times to take risks. And
so I want to pause this and say this real quick, y'all. Let's align the videos that we just watched. Well, I would say the one that was teaching us about New Year's Day, and the calendar, the Gregorian calendar. Let's align all of that we were taught with this demonic activity. Okay, let's think about everything that's going on in the world now that happened. I guess y'all would say last year, right? But I would say a few weeks ago, months ago, leading all the way back up into January of last time. I don't even want to say last year, but let's align everything that's going on in the world with this video right now and just listen to her.
And people will say, oh no, it's a doom channel. It's a fear mongering channel. Fear can only be mongered when you actually don't understand the reason for prophetic truth. If you don't understand the reason that God warns, which is that God loves, he explained all the reasons in Ezekiel 3 and Ezekiel 33. Son of man, I am appointing you as a watchman to the people. Stand on your watch. And when you see the sword coming, what does it say? Keep quiet. Write it in your journal and let people die for nothing. No, it says warn the people so that they will not get taken away when the sword comes. This means that the sword is inevitable. The judgment is inevitable. The storms and the positively charged clouds are inevitable. But what is not inevitable? You don't necessarily need to be on a cruise ship and sink and get lost in the Bermuda Triangle open zipper in the sea. That's avoidable. You don't necessarily have to do that. You don't need to be flying everywhere. Sometimes you can just Amtrak it and say thank you, Lord, for railroad tracks. Minimizing our exposure when there is a kind of open ticket on death is not fear mongering. It's letting you know that the ticket is already open, so you may as well stay away and not prove a casualty. Be sober and be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Demonic activity is going to increase. I've been saying this the entire time this blog has been up. In fact, I was speaking of the homeless army all the way back in 2020, and I was saying that this group of people who they are unhoused, and all the local governments in most of the cities ignore them. They don't want to make concessions for them. They don't actually want to build places for them. They don't want to look after them. I said that these people are an untapped market for demons. People who fall down on their luck, people who have no home, people who have no place to go, their spirits are open. Their spirits are very open for the enemy to use them, for evil spirits to nest. And then they become violent, and then one spirit calls 7 more wicked than himself to come and stay in. And these people don't have access to caring Christians. These people don't have access to ministries that can even do deliverance on them. Most American ministries cannot do deliverance. They don't understand about deliverance. They just say things like Jesus won it all. Yeah, he won it all. But just like soap, you need to apply it to the body to get clean. The soap won't lunge on you and clean you under duress. Right. That's why the Bible tells us to work out our own salvation. It tells us to do things like put to death the lust that is in our members. So there's work to do. But most Christians are not living a clean life. Most ministries don't carry enough power to effect actual deliverance on the next person, on the next Christian. And that is why most Christians are carrying some form of demon. It may not be the open evil manifest kind. It may not be the open evil manifest kind. Please be wise, because there's some of you live in homes where as you're singing your praise songs, your mother's face is changing. It's not changing like to blue and green, but it's contorting, and she looks like she's in pain. And then very shortly, some 4-letter words will come out, and then you will think, oh, my mother's so hateful. No, the demon that your mother has is hateful. Exactly. And it hates to hear worship and songs going up to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, Jesus Christ. Demons are as common to catch as dirty sneakers, dirty socks, and the common cold. All you need to do is be living unrighteously. All you need to do is be tolerating a vice in your life. It's as simple as continuing to watch movies with 4-letter words, continuing to watch movies with nudity and things in it like that. You open little cracks. And what Satan does is that he gets a crowbar in there, and the crowbar is his frontal toenail, and he will crack you like a little piñata, and then get in and nest in. And then those spirits will take over. Your desires change. Your thoughts change. You have too many voices in your head. That's not natural. That's not normal. We have the inner voice, and then we have the voice of the Holy Spirit. That's it. You're carrying any other voices like that. There's issues there. There's traumas there. There's also demons there, because demons love trauma. They will nest next to trauma. They will seek after trauma. They will multiply it. Some people relive their trauma over and over. It's as if there's a video game. It's as if there's a loop on the inside of them. That is the demon. It is doing that to magnify the trauma so that you will never, ever, ever be healed. You will be talking about the thing that happened 15 years ago. And it is not to minimize the fact that the thing happened. It is the fact that the demon will not let it go, because it is imprinting it like a tire tread upon the human soul. Because demons know better than people that enough trauma brings too much pain, and when there's too much pain, the human being cannot contain pain. We were not created to house and keep pain, and eventually you will do something terrible and exit yourself from this world.
Exactly.
That is the whole point of replayed trauma at the courtesy of demons. It is to get you to hurt yourself, harm yourself, and exit yourself from this world through suicide, through the sin of suicide. Anytime you see someone has committed that, it is not the cry for help. That's what the experts say, because they don't know anything. It is the caving of the human spirit under pain. The greatest pain is to feel that you cannot continue anymore. And this is the work of demons. This is the work of spirits. They will do it silently in the background, or they will do it loudly through the mouth of people. And this is why these wretched young people today say things to each other like, why don't you do everyone a favor and kill yourself? What normal human being will voice those words to another human being that God has brought upon this earth to exist at his pleasure? These children are full of demons. These young people are full of demons. They've been smoking and taking Adderall since they were 5 years old. They've been bouncing off the walls with Ritalin. Drug addicted, and the demons come along with that. These little babies that they say, oh, he's just insufferable and he screams all the time and he can't be controlled. Tiny little babies, you see them, they cannot express themselves, just screaming, screaming, screaming. The child is tormented, but the mother has no idea about demons, nothing about spirits, doesn't know how to lay her hands upon the baby and begin to bring the human spirit under control and to cast out everything that came upon that little one. So by the time he's 4, he...
Oh my God, yo. I have to say something about that, bro. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You know what's crazy about what she said? This is exactly why I talk about bad parenting a lot. Because these parents, the reason why their children is so evil and so demonic is because they don't follow God. They don't let God lead their lives at all. Okay? They don't even pray over their children. Just like she said. You don't even know nothing about spirits. You sit there and you wonder why your child is screaming and hollering all the time or throwing a tantrum. It's not because, oh, it's just look at him. I don't know what to do at this point. It's the demon that's inside the baby. And you don't even know how to, like she said, lay hands on the child and pray for the child because you don't even care to pray. You don't care. All you care about is going out here, having fun, going to work, coming back home, getting irritated at your child again, going to work, going out, coming back home, spending money. And it's just a never-ending cycle for you. But you don't put God first through nothing, absolutely nothing. So being that you don't have God in your household, then your children are going to suffer. Because they're gonna be your children. The children are innocent. They don't even know what's going on inside of them. They don't even know that it's a demon that then crawled its way into them, you know. And it's up to the parents to rebuke the demon up out of them, but they can't because they don't even know how. These parents, all they do is smoke, drink, like I said, go to work, come back home, go out, they spend money, they come back home. And through all of that, there's not God. God is nowhere. He's nowhere to be found through all of that. So your children are sitting in the house with you, trapped with demons. You are so selfish. A lot of y'all parents out there is selfish. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got Satan all up inside of you, you so selfish, your child got Satan in him or her as well. Baby demons, though. It's baby demons. And she ain't doing nothing but telling the truth. She ain't doing nothing but telling the truth. Just like I was telling the truth about how in my neighborhood, it's 9, 10, 11-year-olds walking around here with guns on their waistband. Demons. Little demons, demonic children. Yes, I said it. You guys have demonic children because you're demons. And it's your fault that your child is a demon. You sitting up here and you celebrating these evil ritualistic holidays, and you're inviting your kids to do the same. And they got demons all inside them. From these ritualistic holidays that you celebrating that you know nothing about. Cook, Celeste, come on.
Tiny little babies, you see them, they cannot express themselves, just screaming, screaming, screaming. The child is tormented, but the mother has no idea about demons, nothing about spirits, doesn't know how to lay her hands upon the baby and begin to bring the human spirit under control and to cast out everything that came upon that little one in vitro. So by the time he's 4, he's Damien from some kind of horror movie in the house, and they're just like, we just can't get a handle on him. You can't get a handle on the demon that the baby has. And now God is telling us that activity is going to ramp up. So imagine, this is Jeremiah all over. You can't run with the young men. How are you going to compete with the horses, Jeremiah? How are you going to run against horses?
Put a 1 in the chat if you could still hear us, because they just tried to, disconnect my stream. So put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Oh, okay. Appreciate it, Grizz.
You can't handle your 4-year-old. Are you able to handle him 5 years from now when he's 9 and he's almost the same height as his dad? That's
right.
GMO food.
Right.
Demons consistently, they're grinders. They work very hard. A demon is going to look after its space. When a demon gets space in your life, you open the door through porn, you open the door through gossip, you open the door through all these accoutrements and everything like that. You open the door through how you dress and present yourself. Do you actually think it's possible? Let's talk about this. Do you think it's possible to dress like a harlot and the spirit of seduction is not going to attach to you? Do you know, many of you women, how many mommy water spirits, how many mermaid and siren spirits you're carrying? Yes, honey. Isn't that the language of the underworld? Isn't that the language of hell itself? Do you not know that these demons coin the phraseology of the times, and it's just coming out of your mouth, and that same mouth you will lift it up to God and say, God, it's me and these kids, it's me again, I need you. Do you not know that there's a certain posture and a certain countenance that is supposed to reflect righteousness, so that the minute the Lord sees you coming, like the father to the prodigal, I'm not saying that the righteous child is a prodigal, but the way that man ran to his useless son is how the Holy Spirit responds to the righteous. Their countenance is radiant, the Bible says, bright, shining. These people are carrying around sunshine on a cloudy day, the true children of God.
Right.
And then there's other people from head to toe. The entire fit check is just Satan.
Yep.
And then that person will still say, me and my Jesus. When I see this, I'm just silent because I tend not to waste my conversation. It will only lead to altercations. It will only lead to your judging me. And that's because the carnal man, the things of God are foolishness to him. He can't grasp them in his 18-inch nails. Righteousness has a look, it has a feel, it has a sound, it also has a language. Unrighteousness, the same. And us mere humans on earth, real Christians, you can't fool us. How do you think you're fooling a demon? These demons are finding homes in a lot of people. You need to know that.
Yes.
These things that I say, these are just additionals. This is just spiritual teaching you're not getting at church. You're not getting it from the minister. You're not getting it from the Bible study. The pastors don't believe in such things. Something is raping men and women at night, and the pastor is telling you it's a bad dream. You are waking up with the evidence of the infraction upon your flesh. Males, you know what those female demons do to you and how you wake up in the morning. You know it. You are embarrassed. You are ashamed. And please don't take this as an invitation to send me email about this. Please. Just take the burning coal that you are getting in this video and go on the internet and look for prayers to break spirit spouse. Please run, hustle, take your feet. Go on the internet.
Yes.
Prayer points to break spirit spouse. Prayer points to break marine spirits. Prayer points to break incubus spirit. That's for you women that are getting slept with 8 times in the night and then claiming it's so different. No, it's not. You will go to hell for suffering with fallen. It's not. Fear the devil. Fear the things of the devil. Flee every appearance of evil. Avoid every appearance of evil. Do not open the door of your heart to participate in sex with phantoms. Do not be found. Your literal self will reap corruption to itself at your young 26-year-old age. So God is saying, here are some signs you need to look for. People will be manifesting spirits. They will be extremely violent. They will be on edge. That means those that just blow up for no reason. You got that person in your family, and then you still want to be saying, well, Celestial, I'm trying to share the videos with them. How about not? How about don't do it?
Right,
How
right.
about just exercise wisdom?
Yes.
How about you don't need God to tell you everything, that he gave you eyes and ears so that you can be able to look and assess things and listen and see how things are going and then make a value judgment that actually turns out to be right. That's wisdom. People will be cunning. Your own children are going to be trying to con you out of bank bonds.
Ooh.
Your own children are going to try and con you out of your house bond. Your own parents are going to be using your social and running up thousands of dollars in debt on it and then acting like they didn't know that they had another card that they would be using in your name since you were born. Some of you need to go.
You hear that? Do you hear that? She said your own parents. So I'm be honest with y'all. When I was younger, see, I knew nothing about paying bills and stuff like that. I think I was like in my early teens. I think I had to be about 13 or, maybe 12. I remember at once upon a time when, one of my parents was using my social. You know what I'm saying? They was using my social to be able to get the internet, a new internet, all of that, man. They was trying to put me in debt already. The parents, a lot of these parents out here, a lot of them ain't gonna tell you that. They ain't gonna tell you that. You got to do your own research. And you will go and you will find out later on down the line that your parents, the parents that you thought that truly loved you so much, comes to find out that they had a strong obsession with money your whole life because they started using your social. Bye. And it's just sick, man. Just listen to what she's saying because this is so true. It happened to me. It happened to my husband. His peoples was using his social too. And they still is to this day using this social to get brand new cars and all type of stuff. Sick.
Go and check your information. You'll be shocked to find out that you own like 6 homes in debt under your parents' name.
Come on, man.
People will be extremely manipulative. People will be extremely seductive.
Yep.
And people will be very, very deadly. This is the most tragic part of all. There's a lot of simple arguments that are going to end in death.
Yes.
A lot of simple arguments are going to end in death. Both parties may not plan on it, but I can tell you who's been waiting on it his whole life. The demon that one or both parties have. simple conversations are going to end in vicious stabbings across the poker table because the demon isn't here for human arguments. You did it. No, you. No, the demon will be like, this is so boring. In Hades, we spill blood. Fight. And then it's
For
going
real.
to end in death. It's going to end in a police report. It's going to end in a funeral. In
Yes.
1 or 2 funerals. The demon doesn't actually care. They're not sentimental. They
Yes.
are extremely vicious.
Yes. This is why you
And they are
can't.
looking for bodies.
Yes.
And they will not struggle.
This is exactly why you cannot argue with people in public. Please, y'all, stop arguing with these people out here, man. They are not human. They're demons, bro. They're demons. And they want to feed off of your energy, okay? A lot of these demons, they feed off of your energy. If they see you crying, they want you to hurt more. If they see you angry, they want you to be angry more. Sometimes demons get happy when you angry and they actually don't even try to look your way because they just love to see that they got another demon, walking beside them. But some of them, they will test your patience. And they will test you all the way to the graveyard. They will test you all the way to you go to prison. Majority of these demons ain't found guilty because they demons.
To find bodies because most people are not guarded with the full armor of God, and they're not guarded because they're not born again. They are open targets to these things, and then others are looking for it. All the Miss Crystal girls and the moon worshippers and the Christian witches, people are looking for their own demise in these end times. God says that people will also begin to show their true nature, meaning that if they are not human, or if they are not fully human, meaning that they are hybrid, or they are full Anunnaki or something, they're going to start to show it. Again, the veil, the divide between what is of God, human beings made by the hand of God, and what is not of God, it is going to start to thin. And let me tell you something about the fallen. When the veil begins to thin, they're not going to be shy at all at manifesting who they are. Don't be surprised that people play their fangs out for a millisecond. Do you know how fast a millisecond is? A millisecond is the exact amount of time it takes a Disney movie to show your child a penis and then hide it again in Simba's left eye. You, the parent, won't see it, but it's gone subliminally into your eye and your baby's eye. And by age 12, your child will have 3 kids, or your child will be sexually active because of what they're being exposed to in a millisecond in some of these movies that Disney has been making and exposed for, and people are still going to Disney World because there's just no discernment in our times.
Still going to Disney World.
In a millisecond, someone will make their eye vertical and then widen the pupil and take it back to human eyes. You see it.
Yep.
And you cannot be one who goes.
So I got to say something about that part when she said people are still going to Disney World. Yes, Disney World was exposed, a couple years ago, and yet and still people are still going on vacations with their kids and taking them there. I see the vlogs all on YouTube. I see y'all little family vlogs and how y'all leaving from y'all state, packing up y'all stuff, talking about come with me and my children as we go to Disney World. You still going? You still going? Y'all are sick. And that's the truth. And unfortunately for you, it's the uncomfortable truth.
No, this is how you end up dead in alleys. The man of restraint. Please read James chapter 3 tonight after this video. The man of restraint is a great man. All of us should be working on being that man. You can't be that man by just reading the Bible and saying, Lord, make me that man. The man of restraint. The man from Proverbs who bridles his whole body, who can bring his whole self under control, is greater than he who takes a city. But the man who can tame his tongue, obviously is going to be shocking. What else can it be but shocking? You catch witches operating in public in Manhattan now. In public, they have no shame. Witchcraft is being talked about openly on podcasts in this country. This nation is for fire. It is for fire. We're just waiting for God to throw the match in our midst. And then when we are locked up in the pot with us, the meat, as I shared here recently in one of the recent prophecies, then what we do is we say, Lord, Remember, we, your people, are here. Please give us those fireproof, reflective blankets and keep us safe. To all who haven't left by the time things become really bad. These creatures will change their eyes. They will show you their outer eyelid that they have up here. They will play their teeth. For a millisecond, their scales will come out across the face and go back. They're going to be playing. It's funny. It's a waiting game for them. The Bible says that the whole earth is groaning and waiting for the revelation of the sons of God. That means that the earth herself is waiting for the true children of Jesus Christ. Those who truly are his, to rise up out of this fake lake of everyone's a Christian. No, everyone is not a Christian. Everyone is a placeholder. But the game of music or chairs will kick off, and then we will know who's a real believer and who's not. In the same way, the wicked are waiting for their moment. They are very impatient. They are waiting for a world like the old one of past times, where they ruled and men had to cry out to God, and also Michael and Uriel and Raphael raised a lament to the Lord before the Lord intervened and began to strike down the fallen in the earth. God had left people with the fallen angels that they wanted to kiss. God had left humanity with the angels that they claimed they wanted to be with. Since they accepted them and they didn't cast them out of their midst, God left them there to live with giants and see how they liked it. And after several generations of getting eaten and treated like chattel, they realized they didn't like it and that it wasn't nice. And that's how the flood came to be. And so, if you see people that are manifesting too many behavioral changes for comfort, especially if there is a wild difference from the norm as you have known them to how you suddenly start seeing them, it is best to give those people a wide berth, meaning give those people all the room that they need. You don't need to be Betty Save a lot. You don't need to be, that person. Learn to keep your own counsel sometimes. Seek the Holy Spirit for wisdom for how to proceed with them. And all that I can say is, especially if this person is a co-worker, your spouse, a family friend, and this does not mean that as soon as someone says they want to cut their hair, then you start saying, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, I knew that you were fallen. That's not it. These are changes that discernment will start to tell you. Have you noticed how your roommate has been vegan all her life? And then she suddenly said she's underweight and she needs to have more meat, and that's fine. Everyone has the right to come back to meat if they want. But have you noticed that she's gone from having the medium to rare to now she's just basically laying raw, bloody meat in her plate? That's the sign that you need to get in your own apartment. That's the clear sign that it's time to live alone.
You know what?
Learn to obey and respect your intuition, your instinct.
I'm going to pause it right here real quick because I want to say something in relation to that. I remember once upon a time, there was a specific family member that we were, going over their house and whatnot to visit with them. And they cooked, at times they would cook some meat, you know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, this family member knew how to cook, but all of a sudden they just fell off. They stopped, they fell off from cooking. And then at the same time that they fell off, we started seeing them, slowly but surely, unfortunately, revealing their true selves. They started to turn into a real demon. You know what I'm saying? They hated when we would talk about godly things. Mind you, the same person that would go to church every Sunday, that claimed that they love God, that had a Bible sitting on their dresser, all of that. But they started to pull themselves away from God. You know what I'm saying? And we can hear it through the certain responses, certain things that they would say. And to top it off, they started to cook, right? Not food, literally food. But when they would cook meat, the meat was never it was like, it don't matter how long the meat will stay in the oven. The meat would be in the oven for 2.5, maybe even 3 hours, maybe even 4. But it would come out and it was still raw and they would be eating it, but we couldn't eat it. And I would tell this family member, I said, no, I'm not about to eat that. That's still raw. Like, what the heck? It was in the oven for like 3 hours. Like, what? But it makes sense. They were demonic. And they liked eating the rawness in the meat all of a sudden. I'm telling you. And when I tell you God is so good, because to be honest, we left and we never came back. We left and we ain't never come back. That's how you can spot a demon too, man. And it's sick. It's sickening. People, they starting to eat raw meat and stuff. I mean, let's be 100. A lot of people, they order food and stuff like that from these restaurants, and they bite into it without even looking. They don't even look to see that their burger or their chicken is still raw. They're just eating it.
And your discernment. So this is learning to become the person who doesn't see all the things that I just spent 15-minute listing and then saying, maybe it's just me. Please don't do that in the end times. Please don't disrespect your soul, and please don't diminish your chances of survival like that. By seeing things with your eyes, hearing things with your ears, and then disrespecting the monitoring apparatus that God has given you. Your eyes and your ears are to monitor, and then this part, the mouth, is to then share the data that you're seeing. So if your eyes are seeing something and your ears are hearing something, that's the time for your mouth to withhold data and to start looking for a new apartment. Don't be someone who ignores warning signs. Don't be someone who gets beat 3 times and then says, it was because he was angry. I anger him so much. He's going to kill you. He's going to kill you. If he's one of these, savagery is going to break forth out of people. I've been saying it for a long time. Those who like to read crime reports, you will get healed of reading the crime reports.
Right.
Because there's only so he or she made a skin dress of their family reports that you can read. You see the heinousness of the crimes. You see the types of crimes that are being committed, mother on child, father on wife, or father on daughter. You are seeing that the crimes are bent way left. This is evidence of demons in the midst of a population.
Yes.
You live in a country where they're slitting people from top to bottom, taking out all their insides and scooping them out for ritual purposes. You don't need to be told that Satan is in charge of the dinner menu in your country.
Right.
You don't need to be told. Some of you are sharing from your nations that presidents are conducting rituals in the sea. So you're saying that it's no longer the shamans. It's no longer the witch doctors who are waiting for the sun to set to do this type of wickedness. You're saying that the leaders of nations are making covenants with things that are in the sea on national TV. Such a nation needs to not cry, but scream to God for mercy. Such a nation needs to fall to its knees in repentance, prayer, and fasting and intercession.
Yes.
Because when Satan puts flat feet down on the soil, this is when you see devastating things like this will become mainstream news. It's already happening here in America. Whoever tries to deny that it's not happening, you're being willfully blind. You are disrespecting your intuition, your instincts, and your discernment. Those 3 things sound alike, but they are not the same thing. Last but not least, increase your fasting and prayer. It's never enough. You're not there yet. I don't care how many dreams you can have in one night. I don't care how well you can interpret the Bible.
Grid said, can you drop the links to the channel? Hubby, can you, all you have to do is just go to our profile. And I believe the link is, I think it's underneath the name, profile name. I forgot. Or is it in the About Me? Okay.
I don't care how many soft and tender moments with Father that you have. It's never enough. I've said many times that the Lord has said, whatever we think we will need to get through the end times, we are going to need 100 times more than that. Increase the fasting and prayer. For those who haven't even started, it's about time you started. You don't need to ask, how do I fast? You start by giving up a meal. Because if you just go and plunge into a 3-day fast when your body has never been without food, your glycemic index is going straight through the floor, and then that's you fainting at work. You ease yourself into it. The same way that people build up tolerance at the gym, it's the same thing you do here. And I was meditating on this the other day, and I was saying that, Lord, you know, carnal athletes, and Apostle Paul said this. He said that men will train their body and lose so much weight and put so much effort in for an earthly crown that they're striving to. They work so hard to be excellent, but he says that physical exercise profits the body only a little, but spiritual discipline, it's priceless. Everybody and their mother is intermittent fasting, but the minute you're supposed to be fasting for righteousness, fasting to overcome a lust problem, fasting so that you can finally be able to do that last thread of smoking, that final thread of smoking that is tied to you, attached to you, it doesn't want to let go of you, that final little vape pen for you to fast for 2 to 3 days, less food, maybe water only, maybe coconut water, maybe half water and half juice, tea, a little fruit when you feel that you're about to pass out, not enough to strengthen you back to full strength. You're not supposed to be at full strength. The entire point of fasting is to humble the vessel that the Spirit of God breaks out in His power. The whole point of fasting is for His strength to become yours. And the best way to do that is to humble the body, to lessen the intake, to lessen the food. You're not fasting to starve to death. That's the wrong intention. You are saying, God, I am mature enough to understand that this thing is a machine and the fuel it takes is not gas. It doesn't run on what some people call fuel. It runs on food. Therefore, I am going to lessen the intake of what this body loves so that there can be an increase of what the Spirit desires. The Holy Spirit is what the Spirit desires. The Spirit witnesses that we are His children. It cries out, Abba, it cries out, Father. That's what the Holy Spirit wants. The Holy Spirit wants communion. The Holy Spirit wants fellowship with the Most High. The Holy Spirit wants to be blended with God. The Holy Spirit wants to come home. The Holy Spirit wants to come home. The Holy Spirit doesn't want to be with you in the strip club. It doesn't want to be with you zoned out like a veggie in front of 22 parts of some pointless Netflix series or TikTok series. The Holy Spirit wants to be building up itself in its most holy faith. But the hindrance is the flesh. So the flesh needs to be put under so that the Spirit can come up. And fasting is a great way to do that. It's a great, excellent, perfect way to do that. 1 meal a day, and then after a short while, 2 meals, and then after a short while, the whole day. You can fast and you can finish at 8 o'clock. You can fast and you can start again eating the next day. This is what I was saying to God. For an intermittent fasting app, just to gain some pointless badge, they're willing to starve themselves into a new body shape. But for you, it's suddenly too hard. It's suddenly too impossible. The Spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Why, God? Why are you not our priority? Why is that? Only you know. This is the word of the Lord. For now, I will simply title it Dreams, March 15, 2024. These are the things the Lord has shown me. That He is angry about the rise of flesh in the church, the sin of homosexuality that will be exposed, as well as so many other evils that the church is perpetrating, financial crimes, crimes against children, crimes against our own body, crimes against others, spousal abuse, domestic violence, murder, plane crashes as radar becomes strange, people going missing as compasses become off-center due to interferences with the Earth magnetic poles, planes blowing up in the sky, planes ripping up in the sky, people coming and plunging out, planes going missing, nobody found, ships sinking, ships going missing, nobody found, interference in the atmosphere, strange clouds that are carrying ions that have a negative effect, positive ions that will negatively affect human flesh, extreme weather, lightning storms, solar magnetic storms, hurricanes, the seas roaring, flooding, ferocious storms, windstorms, positive radioactive waves that will destroy life and property on contact, the spirit of death walking about in the earth, mass accidents, buses going off. I've spoken a lot of times of buses completely going off and just rolling and catching fire, and everyone in that bus being a write-off. This is where you literally need to have memorized Psalm 91 and you say, Lord, let not my my life be a prey to the enemy. He's walking around like a roaring lion, but Lord, let not my life be a prey to this adversary that I know that I have. Demonic activity increasing, people manifesting spirits and becoming violent, seductive, cunning, manipulative, and very, very deadly. People on a hair trigger, hybrids and people who are not human beginning to toy with the human population to show you their all black eyes and then put color back into them and grin while you scream and say, did you see that? And your coworker is like, I think you need time off. You need time off. They might just isolate one person and start messing with you. Don't be that person. I'm telling you, if you carry the holy presence of God with you, you will be like a literal plume of fire. They will keep their eyes white around you all the time. You won't be the one to see them. They won't risk it. God help me. Respect your intuition, respect your instincts, and operate in discernment. And yes, stop running away from fasting. It's too late to be spiritually fat. Please. Please do not become a statistic simply because you can't put the burger back in the freezer. You absolutely can. You are not flesh. You are not carnal. You are spirit. And the spirit lusts against. The spirit strongly resists and pushes back firmly against the things of the flesh. The spirit is able to say, no thank you. Let us become a spiritual people, because as God is beginning to purge the church, we do not want to be purged with the purges. And so, I am Celestial, and this is the Master's Voice. I'd like to say a special thank you to those who are such a blessing to this ministry. God bless you, and thank you for not using Cash App anymore. I can see that people are finally getting the message, and I'm extremely grateful. Thank you so much. God bless you. All of you who support the ministry. I know that I said that I would write back the emails to those who have been asking how to be a blessing. All I can say is life is hectic, and time is not as it used to be. You simply have to be patient, please. May the Lord be a blessing to you. May the Lord increase you and expand you. There is so much opportunity to expand in the midst of chaos. Even the business investors know that. Even business investors see an unstable market as a time for them to make money. Why should the Christian then be so shut up in fear? Why should the Christian then be so uncertain? Yes, as the video started out, the Lord says that uncertain times are coming. But I tell you one thing is certain, is the majesty of our God. Jesus Christ is not daunted by a bad economy. Isaac sowed in that land, and in that same year, he reaped 100-fold. Bible readers know exactly what I'm talking about. And those who don't, Google is your friend. Isaac sowed in that land, and in that same year, he reaped 100-fold. Just simply type in Isaac, reaped 100-fold, and it will take you to the story, and you can catch up with the rest of us who know what I'm talking about. The Lord said, I will find that prophecy and I will link it. It has a brown cover and there's a pen writing on it. He said, take your chances. He said, shoot your shot. He said, start your projects and try. I will be with you and I will make it prosper. You know that there's no favorable time in life. There's no perfect time in life to do what the Holy Spirit is moving you to do, so you might as well just move and do it. So, thank you to all of you who are a support. Thank you for coming here. You're sowing your time here for yourself. You're sowing your time to be informed. You're sowing your time to be taught, edified, blessed. And yes, the prophecies are not positive, but then it is God's right. I maintain at all times. It is the right of the Lord to judge, and judge He will. Until I see you again, I'm Celestial, and this is the Master's Voice. God bless you, and goodbye.
All right, we're back. Camera's on me again. Appreciate y'all for coming through this live stream. Whoever stayed put for almost 3 hours, I appreciate you. And also I want to give a
Good gods, I love Native.
hold on.
Yeah, we should give this to the mortals.
Ew, look at all that aluminum.
Turn it off.
Oh.
I want to give a big shout out to one of the young ladies that came in here. Thank you for your donation to the Cash App, and thank you to everybody that subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for listening to the stream and not worrying about my hair like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Especially the same people that saying comb your hair is the same exact people that can't even wear their natural hair. They afraid to wear their natural hair. They afraid to wear their natural face. They gotta have makeup on every day, all day. They gotta put wigs on their head and stuff like that because they insecure within themselves. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to impress none of you people. Anyway, this was a great live. It was a very informative live. And I appreciate all of the people that came through that watched it. I'm getting tongue-tied today. I'm gonna get off of here. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming through and listening. Okay. You know, it's more to life than just trying to pay attention to somebody's looks. You know what I'm saying? Weirdos. But anyway, zombie bots, go ahead and make sure that you go and check out my other live streams so that you can be informed. And you know, I'm hoping that you can come up out of the zombie bot state of mind that you're in. Okay, I'm really hoping and praying that you guys can be so informed that you will never celebrate another holiday ever again a day in your freaking lives. Okay, and your kids won't either. Okay, a lot of y'all really afraid of y'all kids. You know, you afraid of your kids. That's why you spend money. That's why you celebrate, you know, because that's why they try to blame it on the kids. They say, oh, well, you know, I don't celebrate, but I do it for the kids, though. No, you scared of your children. You scared because who running the household? If you don't celebrate holidays, then ain't nobody about to celebrate it. What do you mean? And if the kids got a problem with it, oh, well, you know, rebuke those demons up out of them, though. Nevertheless, y'all, wake them folks up.